Would you work for free if you knew your kindness would change your life forever? A poor but extremely skilled carpenter was having a really tough time finding work. He was so discouraged that he was considering giving up his trade altogether. One day, as he was walking, he saw an old, broken house and an even older man watching it from the road. The carpenter approached the man and asked if he could help him fix his house. The old man looked at the carpenter from head to toe and replied, "You can fix my house if you want, but I don't have any money to pay you." The carpenter, desperate for work, accepted the old man's offer. The old man watched silently as the carpenter worked hard to fix his house. Day after day, the carpenter put in long hours, but he was rewarded with the satisfaction of seeing the old man's face light up with joy. As the house slowly began to look like a home again, months went by and the carpenter continued his hard work, even though he hadn't been paid a single penny. The old man never said a word about the work being done, but the carpenter didn't mind because he knew that his kindness would not go unnoticed. Finally, the day came when the carpenter finished his work and proudly surveyed the fully restored house. But the owner never returned. The carpenter was deeply disappointed, but he had no choice but to move on and find new work. Years passed, and the carpenter continued his humble work, never forgetting the old man's house. He often wondered if the old man had ever found a new home, or if he was still living in the one the carpenter had fixed for him. One day, a wealthy businessman entered the carpenter's small shop. The carpenter, surprised by the sudden customer, asked what he could do for him. The businessman looked around the humble workshop and then turned to the carpenter and said, "I heard you might be the person I'm looking for." The carpenter, confused, shook his head and asked the businessman to clarify his question. It turned out that the businessman was an old man who had hired the carpenter all those years ago. He explained that he had watched the carpenter work on his house and had been impressed by his skill and determination. As a reward for his kindness, he gifted the carpenter a brand new workshop filled with the latest tools and equipment. The carpenter, overwhelmed with gratitude, realized that his good deed had not gone unnoticed. In fact, it had come back to him in an even greater way than he had ever imagined. From that day on, the carpenter's life changed for the better. He had a comfortable workshop where he could work on his projects and make a decent living. And he never forgot the lesson he had learned all those years ago. No matter how tough things may seem, kindness always comes full circle.